In our news bulletin for this evening, dry weather conditions prompt public precautionary measures to conserve water and minimize burning. Taonga Niue takes the lead as the month-long Constitution celebrations got off to a start this week with a walk for change, the opening of the museum display and a song quest this week. Police investigate the willful damage to one of the department vehicles. Niue High School's food fair gives students lessons on product development and sales. The island is now experiencing a dry spell that was predicted earlier in the year caused by the El Niño phenomena affecting the region. Niue's Meteorological Service continues to monitor the situation with some precautionary measures set in place to offset any potential impacts of the dry weather.
With regards to the water, although there is sufficient water underground as advised by our water expertise here, but we still need to use water wisely at all times. And for those farmers to try and do their best to plant the crops that can survive during dry weather conditions. We need to work together, and we need the people out in the community to take note of this information that have been advised from us, not only from us but also from the Disaster Council. We need to advise the public to continue and listen to the radio if there are updates from us, or even from the council, or even from our partners in the region. But mainly for our people here to continue and use water wisely and do not or minimize burning of fires.
According to the Niue Meteorological Service, the rainfall recorded for the month of September this year was the lowest since January of 2014, with only 20.4 millimeters recorded at the weather station at Hannun International Airport and 12.0 millimeters in Liku. The dry weather has also affected the agricultural sector, with the Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries prepared to assist farmers.
We're hoping that we as the department will do something along with our farmers. And my main concern is we are trying to get as many planting materials, especially taro, suckers or saplings, that we will be able to propagate and also to irrigate at the farm like we did back in 2012. And hopefully we'll do something to accommodate the issue with the dry period that we are experiencing at this time. Especially the soil conditions are very dry, and hopefully we can encounter some of these issues. I'd just like to inform also the farmers that they themselves can actually do this as well in their homes when they still have the planting materials at this stage. They can actually go ahead and irrigate their crops, mainly taro or yams, but at this stage don't not only wait for us as a department to do it, but you can actually do these kind of things at your own home.
Farmers are being encouraged to also consider planting drought-resistant root crops over the next few months. As for the health implications due to the hot weather, health advice received from the Niue Health Department is for caution when people are out in the sun and to remain hydrated to ensure their health does not deteriorate. At this point in time, the Niue Disaster Council has not issued any official drought watch, but the situation on the island will continue to be monitored further.
Depending on the data that we received from the months ahead of us, this is the first month that we have noticed there is a low rainfall recorded here. But if it continues on for the next 3 months, then the Met Service will be able to issue a drought watch or even a drought warning for the people of Niue. And the Disaster Council will also have to consider this as a watch or a warning for the people of Niue. But currently we are only communicating on emails with the members of the council with regards to the weather conditions that we are experiencing at the moment.
The cautionary message now is for people to use water wisely and minimize burning of fires around homes and bush areas to avoid any further complications. Taonga Niue is in charge of organizing and running this year's 40th Constitution celebrations that will run through the month of October. In the spirit of celebrating Niuean heritage, culture and pride, as well as developments since self-government, there was an early morning walk organized by the Health Department to kickstart the celebrations. Many keen supporters were up bright and early at the break of dawn to walk from the commercial centre, heading southwards up Tabil Hill, past the hospital at Kaimisi, heading towards the power station at Tuwila, and then back down again from Pieta Hill to the commercial centre. We spoke to the director of Taonga Niue to see how preparations and activities are coming along so far.
So far it's pretty good. Yesterday the turn-up of more than 150 people to the 10-kilometer walk organized by the Niue Health Department. We are very thankful for their support and assistance. That means that a lot of people out there supports the celebration, and we look forward to your participation in the many activities ahead of us throughout the month of October.
For some it was an easy feat. Some opted to stroll, take a jog. Others were in more of a rush, running part of the way. But the main objective was to complete the 10-kilometer challenge. The Public Health Promotions Team and Health Department were very appreciative for the amount of support shown, with a great turnout and an awesome start to the celebrations. Earlier today, a special exhibition set up at the Niue Museum was open to a few special guests and contributors.
This is a departmental activity. We are displaying here today items, stories, anything we have collected in the past years, and items we managed to obtain from family members at the time in government in 1974. We've been promoting this for 2 years, for the last 2 years. You know, at our national show days, we always have our billboards telling people to make a deposit, come and tell us a story about what happened in 1974. So we are very pleased today that we are able to have some of those stories, and I would like to thank those people who contributed to the stories, and we hope to do more of that. It's a continuing process.
Moira says that the story and history of Niue serves as a learning experience for generations to come, and the display will be open to the public as of Monday next week. From a health focus to history and on to musical appreciation, there is a Niuean Song Quest competition on tomorrow. According to Moira, it has been more than 10 years that this will be a perfect opportunity to add to our musical archives and history.
It's been more than 10 years in the last Song Quest. We have the Song Quest thereafter only focus on the promotions and awareness of water and climate change and weather, but we haven't done anything, organized anything like this to allow our composers to compose songs about the Niue identity, the Niue culture, how passionate they are about Niue and what do they vision Niue to be in many years to come. So this is exciting also for the department, and I do know the Broadcasting Corporation is looking forward to what the performers will be delivering tomorrow evening.
The hope is that the month-long celebrations will be a unifying factor that will bring people together to participate and celebrate how far we have come as a nation. The willful damage to one of the Niue police vehicles used by the Chief of Police has the department disappointed and concerned. It is suspected that the incident occurred on Tuesday morning, where the windows of the vehicle were smashed, and costs have yet to be determined. The police department has confirmed that they have CCTV cameras that were purposely set up to monitor traffic going by their office. The department is looking into the situation, but Inspector Brent Ioane has commented that this is not a good look. Inquiries will determine how to press forward, but charges will be laid when further details are received from the investigation to find out who is responsible for damaging the police department vehicle. Niue High School was buzzing with sales yesterday as students put their selling and marketing skills to the test as part of the second Food, Nutrition, Clothing and Textiles Food Fair at Baliasi. Originally, the FNCT Expo was only open to students who took FNCT to showcase their work throughout the year as well as their cooking skills, and the first expo was held last year. The event was initiated by FNCT teacher Karen Saipudan and trainee Jason Sakalia as a way for students to learn how to plan, organize, prepare food and work as a team to sell their products. This time round, students set up stores outdoors as the hall is currently being renovated. Niue High School Principal Susie Wells said that the food fair was a success with a good turnout and they hope for continued support in future. The fair started at 11 and many parents and staff were up there to support and buy products that ranged from hot food like chips and sausages, fruit drinks, coconuts, milkshakes and other items. By the end of the program, students were able to get the funds raised to decide what they do with some classes planning for their end of the school year activities and also as pocket money. Another fun activity was the blindfold guess what you're eating contest that proved entertaining for onlookers. And that concludes our news bulletin for this evening. We do hope that you can join us again for our next news bulletin next week and enjoy the weekend ahead. Don't forget to check out the Vasele fishing competition this coming Saturday, as well as the song quest that will be held at the Millennium Hall tomorrow at 5 in the afternoon.